To neurology, Dr. Ralph Avalos, to neurology.
Eve, I'd like you to meet my father, Dr. Bennett Devlin. Your father? Uh-huh. Dad, this is my roommate, Eve Lambert. Hey, trying to avoid Dr. Boardman, huh? Trying to figure out when I can tell the rest of the interns that I'm a Devlin and not a Morris. Gonna take another shot at announcing it to the whole group? At this point, I owe them an individual explanation.
Who else is left to tell? I know. Chris knows.
He was the first person I told.
Really? I didn't realize you two had become so intimate.
We're not, but he's a good friend.
He is. And just how did that happen?
Thanks. Dr. Devlin, good morning. Good to see you away from the hospital.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Well, I won't waste your time. I'm concerned about Julie.
Julie?
Yes, from day one, I could tell she was someone very special. Just needs a little looking out for.
Yeah, and you're volunteering.
Yes. Yes, I am. She's a very dear friend. That's why I called you with my concerns.
And what are your concerns, Doctor?
Good morning, Miles.
Good morning, Lee.
Thank you for meeting me here. It's so much more comfortable in the office.
I'm presuming this means that you're agreeing to the terms of the settlement?
Oh?
If you've got a brain in your head, we both know that General Hospital can't withstand another trial. Let the lady doctor take the fall. It'll be better for everyone.
Wouldn't be better for Dr. Burgess. And she is a good doctor, you know.
Please. My client's a vegetable because of her.
Now, that's your opinion.
It's a medical fact. I don't believe this. You're going to trial.
Miles, I don't think it's going to come to that. But I can see you are confused, and luckily, I have some people here who can explain it to you.
Explain the fact that your client's condition belongs on his own shoulders.
Good morning, Mr. Cooper. Time to change our sheets. Make us nice and comfy. Not that we've noticed.
Not exactly luxury accommodations, is it? This is not the room that I was promised for you, just so you know. But if the walls start to close in, you can always focus on this Monet. Colors remind me of the fields around the convent, don't you think? Oh, I'm sure this is only temporary. They'll run some tests on you, and then they'll move you into the outpatient building.
More tests.
Just what you need, right? Like being put into a full lockup. I'm sorry, Victor. I was assured that you'd be put into another part of the building. I had no idea this was going to happen. You don't belong in here with criminals like Greg Cooper. It's as if our minds are prisons enough already.
I'm okay, Mark. So are you.
Now, this is Dr. Ellen Burgess, Dr. Matthew Harmon, and my son Scott, who is Dr. Burgess's attorney.
And you know all the particulars of the case.
Well, I know that Dr. Burgess has a sterling medical record, top of her class. Not the first person that I would go after in a malpractice suit, but you've got guts.
I prefer to call it justice.
Justice, huh? Well, let's just compare her file to your client's.
What's that?
This here is a report from an expert in forensic psychology.
Let me see that.
Oh, you'll get a copy, but in the meantime, let me just give you some of the highlights here. Here he's talking about Greg now. A sociopath, utterly without conscience, free to prey upon an entire hospital community due to the machinations of his influential family.
Oh, I like that. That's well put.
My client's mental state is not the issue here.
Yeah, well, it will be soon.
Attacking the victim, Lee. Isn't that a little desperate?
Dr. Harmon, why don't you tell him about what you found in the victim's room?
A syringe still containing traces of insulin. Evidence that Greg Cooper's second seizure was self-induced.
That's ludicrous.
The evidence was obviously planted.
Dr. Cooper's room has been sealed since he was transferred out.
And we examined it together in the presence of a security guard.
And Dr. Cooper was severely hypoglycemic when he went into seizure, followed by cardiac arrest. And Dr. Tony Jones can corroborate that.
What reason would a sad soul like Greg have to do this to himself?
Try revenge.
Oh, yeah, like the time he got a low grade on his chemistry test, he snuck back into the gym, burned it down. You were the attorney. You got him off then, too, didn't you?
You're making this up as you go along.
Okay, all right, fine. Let's just go to court then. We'll just air the Cooper family linen to the press, to the public. Mr. Senior Cooper, I wonder how many golf games he'll be able to scrounge up.
Hey, OJ can still play now and then, can't he?
So what's it going to be, Crandall? You feel like gambling in open court or not?
I'm in 212 right now. Yeah, and I am dying for a cigarette. I'll meet you on the terrace in 10. Yeah, I just have to finish up here and then see to the new patient right above here. It won't take long. Yeah, this one's a total veg. All right, later. Time to change our pillowcase. Didn't even notice, did we?
I know a lot of people don't like Chris, but he knew my secret long before anyone else, and he kept it. You know, you never did tell me. How did he find out about that? He picked up on something Greg Cooper said the night we were all held hostage. He just put two and two together. He's a smart boy. He is smart and arrogant and misunderstood. Sounds like what you were saying about your father. Chris can be very sensitive if you take the time to get to know him. Okay, sure, I'll pencil that in for sometime next year. Why do you have to judge him or my father, for that matter? You don't know either one, really. Just one of the drawbacks of being so superficial, I guess. What was it that Chris was saying about you? That you could see into the heart and souls of everyone? Must come in handy.
If you're through, I have some reading I need to do.
Aren't you just the slightest bit curious about what's been going on with your daughter?
Okay. What do you want?
Just what's best for Julie. I suppose you wouldn't be too thrilled to hear she's living in a basement and dating an ambulance driver.
And who do you have in mind to replace Frank Scanlon in Julie's affections? Yourself, perhaps?
You know, I thought you'd be grateful that I cared enough about your daughter's welfare to give you a call.
Well, I am, but I'm here now.
I see. So you don't need me.
You're very perceptive.
And you are making a very big mistake. See, I know I'm just a lowly intern, but I hear a lot of things about a lot of people.
You know, hospital gossip has really never held any interest for me.
I can make sure those things are repeated, or they die a quick death. Gossip does hurt.
What are you getting at?
Well, you see, we interns are such a tight-knit bunch. We work so closely together, so many hours. We get to know each other's little secrets. In fact, just the other day, I found out something so surprising about my good friend, Eve Lambert.
Really? Why in the world would I care about what you learned about anyone?
I do not appreciate these tactics, Lee. I expected better of you.
Oh, don't blame him. We were just playing good cop, bad cop, and now it's my turn to be bad. Would you like to hear more?
Certainly not.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just surprise you in court. Hey, you know, I was thinking this would make a hell of a TV movie, you know? You ought to contact one of the networks.
How can you make fun of a comatose boy? It's neither funny nor ethical.
You know, excuse me, Mr. Crandall, but the morality of the situation hasn't seemed to bother you before.
Good day.
Oh, by the way, you may want him to beef up your role.
What role?
Well, you know, the part where you were the last visitor to Cooper's room before he had the seizure. See, my spin is that the loyal family retainer snuck in the syringe with the insulin in it. You know, I see John Stamos in the part.
Are you implying that I supplied the instrument of death to my own client? Why would I do such a thing?
Oh, I don't know, maybe at the request of Cooper Sr.
Greg told us a lot about his father while he was holding us at gunpoint. Seems that Dr. Cooper Sr. is of the Death Before Dishonor school.
So now you're threatening me?
No, we're just trying to make you famous. I mean, at least that's how I would write it.
I cannot allow the Coopers to get down in the mud and roll around with the likes of you.
Oh, then you might drop the charges after all.
I'm not promising anything. But I shall advise my clients to do so rather than to associate with your ilk.
Our ilk will wait for your call.
That was beautiful.
Am I right? Could this nightmare be over by tomorrow?
Yeah, I got a feeling that he's gonna drop the suit.
Scotty, you have just saved General Hospital a ton of money.
Well, it wasn't really me. It was Nick and Nora over here that did all the work.
Well, I propose a toast to beating Cooper at his own game.
To a good doctor that shouldn't have been hassled in the first place.
Hear, hear.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Baldwin. Both of you.
Well, it's not over yet, but it's close. Very close.
All right. I'm gonna put you on your side here. I can change your linens, and you can do a thread count on the percale. Interesting life you have here. Okay, here we go.
I cannot tell you how much better I feel.
Well, we're not out of the woods yet.
But at least I'm on the right trail.
Well, personally, I couldn't be happier. The hospital does not want to lose you. You have a wonderful reputation.
As a doctor.
Well, shall we say everyone admires.
Now you can go back to being the terror of the ER.
Didn't I just thank you? Don't make me have to take it back.
Hey, you know, I forgot what it was like to annoy people for a living.
You know, after yesterday, I wasn't sure you were going to make this work.
What happened yesterday?
Well, we paid a little visit to Greg Cooper.
Oh, I don't want to hear about it.
Power to the people, man.
Hey, come on, you're too young for Woodstock.
What was that?
You know, that thing they had on MTV a couple of years ago?
I remember a Civil War battle in the vicinity.
Oh, come on, you old geezer. I got a date with a blonde.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine it's my granddaughter. Now, don't hurt the brittle bones. I've almost made it to the Register of Historical Monuments. And listen, you two stay and have an early lunch, because on the hospital, you deserve it.
Thank you.
Good luck.
See you. Those two are from the same family, huh?
Well, stranger things have happened. And listen, we should be getting back to...
Wait a minute. You cleared us until the afternoon.
Yeah, well, the meeting went faster than was expected.
Well, face it, we've got some free time on our hands here.
Which we could both use most productively, either sleeping or catching up on some paperwork.
Come on. We're in a real restaurant with real clothes and stuff. And you just got your problem solved.
Almost.
Can't you just enjoy the moment?
Okay. Now, let's go.
You know, God forbid you actually enjoy the trip.
What trip?
Life. Life.
Well, I am having a great time. I'm doing work that I love, except for dealing with pushy interns. I'm self-sufficient. Believe me, in my soul, this chick is doing cartwheels.
I'd like to see that sometime.
Yeah, well, don't count on it.
Hey, come on. Lee Baldwin said we could have lunch and put it on the hospital tab.
Well, he didn't really mean that.
Well, he sounded sincere to me. Come on, you gotta eat sometime, right?
Actually, I'm starving. I've been too upset to eat for days, but that is going to change right now. Excuse me. Could we see some menus, please?
Oh, hey, she's learning to enjoy the trip, man.
Thank you.
You know, I think you're misinterpreting what I said.
You know, I think you're way out of your league. Now, you say you care about Julie.
Oh, I do. I just want you to know that your secrets are safe with me.
Like Julie's were. I mean, somebody had to alert Scanlon about who Julie was. Is that part of your concern?
I have no idea how he found out.
I do. You know, Dr. Ramsey, I remember what it was like to be an ambitious young intern and how easy it is to make a tactical error and assume you have an advantage when you have none.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good.
And I would never hurt Julie.
Then we understand each other.
Yes, sir.
I'll be seeing you around the hospital, won't I?
Looking forward to it. Thank you for your time.
I know you think my father shouldn't have stayed in Port Charles to do these seminars. But he didn't want to hurt me, and he just wants what's best for me. He'll see that I can get it for myself, and he'll be fine with that. Excuse me. Hello?
Are you alone?
No. I'm in the OR, but answering my social calls is far more important. What can I do for you?
Well, I mentioned dinner. How about tonight?
I don't think so.
Afraid?
Never again.
Good, then tonight it is. I know a wonderful little inn just outside of town.
What is this about?
I just have some things I want to discuss with you. Meet me?
What time?
5 o'clock. Too early?
No. No, actually, that's great. 5 o'clock is good. I can be home in time for my favorite TV shows.
I'll send a car.
You made a date. Is that so hard to believe? I didn't know there was a man that brave in Port Charles. Anyone I know? No, believe me, you don't know this man at all.
You know I'm trying to help you.
I never helped you.
Past is something we're stuck with, Victor. We either move forward from it or not.
Don't go back there, Monk. It just makes you sad.
I can handle it. But thank you.
How's
How's everything in here?
Excuse me, when is my father going to be moved to a more comfortable room?
As soon as he has some preliminary tests and you meet with his principal doctor.
Well, I'm ready whenever he is.
Okay, I'll let you know. I'll be out on the terrace if you need me. Hey, you got a light?
No.
Great. Where did you put those matches?
Tomorrow, they're the two new dramas the critics can't stop talking about. Don't miss the series premieres of Nothing Sacred and Cracker. Tomorrow, right here on ABC. Watch what happens on All My Children today.